Welcome to Tyler's Kitchen, the show where I talk about my interests, which include but are not limited to feminism, pop culture, history, and random shit I see on the internet with a few more jokes than is necessary and or appropriate. Today we are asking the very serious question, is every self-help guru totally full of shit? Seriously, it's like every quarter we see the comeuppance of another snake oil salesperson. And it always goes the same. Your favorite fitness influencer admits to a BBL, your favorite life coach is in a toxic relationship, and your business coach ends up getting in a lawsuit. It's literally never ending. All of these people are selling you a course, a book, a one-on-one coaching session, or honestly, even just a lifestyle curated through Amazon storefront links. And it's hard for me to watch because these people have built empires on grifting off of vulnerable people. And before we get into this, I do want to mention the most egregious scammers are men. But today I wanted to keep it light, something fun, something for the girls. I want to talk about the greatest girl boss rug pulls in self-help guru history. Herstory. And today's recipe is liar, liar, lemon bars. Sorry, you know, sometimes it's hard to go on theme, so you just gotta alliterate, you know? When your eyelashes stick together. I'm wearing eyelashes for you. I dressed up. So you know the rule, hair, outfit, makeup, pick two and you'll always look put together. I hate doing my hair. Girls, can you give me hair advice in the comments? I would appreciate that because I don't know, there's just so much of it that blow drying is so unrealistic. I want to be a Shark Dyson girl, but I think I have too much hair to justify that. And then if I don't blow dry it, in the back right here, it feels sticky. Does anybody else get that? I'm washing out my conditioner and my shampoo, I just don't get it. Hair girls, sound off, help me, please. Okay, for the crust, I need grated lemon zest. So the problem here is that I was not sure if I had a lemon zester. You guys might hate me for this, but if I just use a cheese grater, will it come out the same? I'm gonna do it. I believe in myself because that's what a girl boss does. So I need half a tablespoon. This feels like, ow, my fingers. I'm putting it on literally the cutting side. This literally feels like what I'm supposed to do. The only thing is that it's like getting caught in like the grates and not coming out. I don't know how I'm gonna get to a half a tablespoon because this is so painstaking. Shit, get out. Tap, 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 get out of there.
One eternity later.
And we're back. Don't ask me how long that took, but that's definitely about a half tablespoon. I bodied that, guys. And that's why I'm the DIY queen. Oh, gotta preheat the oven. One of the first case studies I think of is the recent downfall of the wizard Liz, which you guys were begging me to talk about. So if you don't know what happened, there was this influencer named Liz who grew a massive following for inspirational life advice, just really like aggressive motivation. She's known for preaching independence, healing, self-worth, and cutting off any person who doesn't deserve you, which honestly, I think these are all pretty positive things. I'm supposed to mix these together and then add in butter.
But how many men would date an unattractive woman?
Exactly.
They wouldn't. They just simply wouldn't, okay? Because they have that standard. If you're unattractive, I don't want to date you.
People, and you have to be like, you know what? I'm too pretty to accept your behavior. I'm too pretty for this. You have to stop telling people, oh, I will leave, I will do this, I will that. No, just leave. Shut up. There's literally billions of people in this world and you think this one douchebag is your only option? Please. Comes off so desperate. Like, how desperate are you to be like, hey, listen, I know.
I don't know, if I hear one more person say, you have to become her, the only thing I will become is a felon. This lady built her following on tough love and high standards, but then things got messy. She went on an absolute campaign exposing her fiance who had cheated on her while she was pregnant. Everybody on the internet was weighing in on this. She was sharing receipts, she was doing confessions, she was talking to other girls, she was talking to his mistresses, she was putting it all out there.
This is what she posted. You guys can pause to read it on here and do this because so many other influencers would have hid it under the rug.
And of course the whole internet rallied behind her like, Landon, all my homies hate Landon. We were riding for Miss Liz. My nails are so sharp it just dug into the butter. Womp womp. And obviously I'm not in the business of blaming women for their partner's bad decisions. And at this time I will say there were a lot of people being nasty and like telling us that she was totally invalid for anything she'd ever said just because she got cheated on. No, that was out of her control, but I do think how she responds to the cheating is what people were upset about. Because after she ran this whole expose campaign on him, and it's not like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. That's like a totally human decision that's normal to make. But people definitely had a bitter taste in their mouth because she most likely would have given any of her followers an earful had they been in the same situation. Because honestly, this is like if we found out that Snoop Dogg didn't smoke weed. Or if we found out that Gordon Ramsay brought Marie Callender's pies to Thanksgiving. It's just weird for an audience when you build a whole reputation off of being one thing and then we find out it's not exactly the whole truth. It's easy to preach boundaries and self-worth when it's content, but it's just an awkward look when you go against everything you've ever said publicly. Girl, it just seems like we should be less worried about raising the vibrations and more worried about who's raising that kid. Sorry, that was rude, sorry. But once again, Landon, for real. All my homies hate Landon. Landon is not welcome. Okay, next we're gonna talk about Rachel Hollis. I don't know if you guys will remember this because it was kind of a couple years ago, but it just stood out to me because at least in my community, she was kind of like white girl Gandhi. She had her book called Girl Wash Your Face. She was touring, she was speaking, she was podcasting, she was writing. She was everywhere. She sold millions of books telling women how to crush life, crush marriage, crush all sorts of things. She was basically collecting the infinity stones of girl bossery. Well, actually, she hasn't told me how to mentally prepare for a pap smear yet, and that advice would be useful. That is some self-help I could use. That is the hard-hitting girl bossery I am looking for. I actually remember I was like really depressed in high school and everybody would just be like, well, have you tried reading Girl Wash Your Face? And I was like, no, I'm really just needing to try Prozac, I think. But then, as it always does, she was hit with her villain arc. She was caught plagiarizing quotes. Like seriously, there was a time where she posted a quote from Robin Sharma, Deborah Condren, and my favorite one, Maya Angelou. How are you gonna plagiarize Maya Angelou? That's just so nonsensical that I find it kind of hilarious and awesome. That is just so, that's kind of rad. You gotta give it to her. You know, if you're gonna plagiarize, why not go big or go home? She said, I'm going D1 in plagiarizing. But if you followed this story, you would know that this is only the beginning of the end. She was also caught making incredibly tone-deaf comments about her housekeepers. There was also a time she compared herself to, I'll give you a second to guess because you won't, Harriet Tubman.
Okay, yesterday I was doing a live stream. She's my house cleaner. She cleans the toilets. Someone commented and said, you are privileged AF. And I was like, you're right. I'm super freaking privileged, but also I worked my ass off to have the money, to have someone come twice a week and clean my toilets. Really, everything I do in my life is to live a life that most people can't relate to.
And then after making so much money off her perfect marriage, she ended up getting in a divorce. Which once again, it's no problem to have a marital issue, but I think it's definitely a difficult thing to sell. Hearing all this, I'm like, maybe we needed to wash our face less and wash our timeline more. Okay, now that I've done this is not crust, this is just butter. Oh, add 1 3/4 cups. Okay, add flour. I need to add flour, okay. You betcha. 7/8 cups. Can I be honest? Lemon bars are one of my least favorite treats. Pie and lemon bars, not gonna reach for those. And you guys know that I love all sweets. Honestly, if you put me in a room with pumpkin pie, I wouldn't even have food noise about it. And you guys know how bad my food noise is. Comment your least favorite treat. Who's at the bottom of the pyramid this week? I wanna know. What's your hot take? This is an important topic on this channel. It just sucks. This lady just sold herself as like an all-knowing spiritual wellness relationship expert guru. And the second she blew up, her mask slipped quicker than Bronwyn Newport's geriatric husband. You guys know me. I do not do second chances. Except for HelloFresh. And honestly, they have pulled through. This is smoky brown sugar chicken salad. The first time I tried HelloFresh, the meals were cute, but like portioned for a Victorian child. But the new HelloFresh, they have doubled their menu, upped their portion sizes, and suddenly I'm not hangry 10 minutes after dinner. HelloFresh is nice because it cuts out the mental load of worrying about recipes and grocery shopping. And they even have ready-made meals for nights when the only thing I'm prepared to do is sit on the couch. They literally have over 15 high-protein recipes recipes every week now. I really like this dressing. And the chicken is great, wow. This is what I'm gonna be using to simplify my meal prepping, and if you are looking for the same thing, I would do it too. Give a second chance to the new HelloFresh by using my code TylerFM, all caps, at HelloFresh.com. When you use this, you get 10 free meals and free breakfast for life. 1 free meal per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New or returning subscribers only. Varies by plan. Sign up today. Click the link in the description or just scan this QR code. Seriously, give it a scan. And the third case study I want to talk about is Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert. Another enlightened girl boss spiritual figure. These girls are all like spiritual. Maybe this is called white girl Gandhi syndrome. White girl Gandhi syndrome, wow, wow. Trademark that. She is the author of the famous book, Eat, Pray, Love. Elizabeth Gilbert sold us the dream. Spiritual freedom, running off to Bali, chasing bliss, eating, praying, loving, selling a lifestyle, a dream, a way of being. Her brand was built on following your bliss and never settling. Which once again, like this is a good message that I can get behind. Why is this not combining how I want it to? This is a disaster. Like, what am I supposed to do here? It's like, I just don't see this coming out how I need it to. In a tale as old as time, Elizabeth is publicly undone. She divorces her husband she wrote about in Eat, Pray, Love. She falls into a very messy public relationship with her best friend. Then the best friend gets diagnosed with terminal cancer. Then together they spiral through addiction, emotional chaos, enabling. She even admits to trying to euthanize her lover and friend. Honestly, this should be its own TV series. This shit is crazy. She wrote a new book, and in it, she just had so many unhinged confessions that I was just sitting there like, girl, you did not have to admit any single part of this. What is happening? I don't know why this didn't work. This crust is not crusting, but like, we've just got to move on. We don't have time to like sit with our peas in our hands like this. This is really not good, but I don't know what to tell you guys. This is what it is. Actually, maybe it will come together in the oven. Maybe it will be fine. This is how I sound when I like try to talk about like world issues. I'm like, you know what? It's a disaster, but maybe it will be fine. All right, and here's our crust. Very even. All I have to say is that if this was her version of bliss, she certainly did follow it. You gotta give it to her. But seriously, I think the danger is that they've tricked us into this idea that if we do the right retreat, read the right books, buy their stupid course, that we will someday be enlightened. But they're all full of shit. They are all just as messy as you and I are. I think most self-help gurus fail because they're forced to brand themselves as the solution to the very problems that they struggle with. They market life as linear, like do these 5 steps, sign up for these 3 workshops, buy these 4 books, when life is chaotic and up and down always. So when they position themselves as the know-all on a topic, inevitably because they're human, they're going to switch up at some point. Okay, lemon juice. Ooh, this is gonna be annoying. I actually think I have a lemon juicer. I fear I saw one. I think that's what this is. And it's already kind of skinned out because I had to do that. Is this gonna get all over me? Rah! Like, it literally gives the question, are all self-help gurus cult leaders? It feels that way. Honestly, it's so predictable that I have invented a guru cult girl boss checklist. Number 1, they have no formal qualifications, duh. However, it's so easy to get duped because they are so talented at content creation and messaging that you might think like, huh, maybe there's something to this. There's nothing to this, babe. Diet coaches who are just girls who are skinny, business coaches who literally never even worked a 9 to 5, life coaches who are 32 years old. Like, I'm sorry, you need to have had at least 1 colonoscopy before you tell me what to do with my life. It seems obvious, but it's an easy finesse to buy into, especially when you're desperate. 2, forced vulnerability. If someone has an Instagram reel where they are crying, do not trust that person. And it's always in an Instagram reel montage of like crying, sobbing, and then like a month later, they're like, and now I'm good. But how are you doing that every 3 months? I thought you just healed yourself. How are you crying, sobbing again? It doesn't make sense. I think runner-up forced vulnerabilities are the fake honest on a walk videos and the fake just casually in my car videos. And number 3, if you notice words like tribe, ascension, energy, elite, inner circle, high vibration, or if they are selling tiers within their membership community, that is a personality cult. You are in a cult. Seriously, self-help gurus, it's all a cult, right? That's enough lemon squeezing. This recipe sucks. Sorry, that got aggressive. Okay, I need 3/4 cup granulated sugar. And there it is. I can get my crust out of the oven probably. The crust is looking better than expected. Hell yeah. It's a little crumbly though. I just got some of it onto me and it hurt. But here's the thing. Self-help is just the secular religion of late-stage capitalism. Seriously, instead of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we have mindset, monetize, manifest. And the thing is just like religion, when these things fail, we don't blame the system, we just move on to the next course. In so many ways, these courses sell short-term solutions to larger problems. Like, for a lot of people, just buying the course makes them feel like they made progress on a larger issue. Like, think about this, feeling anxious? Like, honestly, Tony Robbins is marketing way better than therapy. And therapy, you might not immediately get the answers. If you join the Tony Robbins course, you're guaranteed a life-changing experience in just, 3 days? I mean, why do the work when I can just buy an influencer's ebook? I feel like this advice is useful to a certain extent, but I wouldn't say it's transformative like they sell it to be. Especially for the desperate people they're selling it to. Okay, and then I need a little bit of salt. Okay, now I just pour it in here. This looks correct. To a certain extent, this does look like how it's supposed to look. So take that. This looks beautiful, wow. I'm impressed with myself. Now we throw this in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes and voila. And not to mention, there's also the grift of people becoming life coaches to teach other people how to become life coaches. It's literally a pyramid scheme. It wasn't until after she got out that Sarah Ibister realized she'd been caught in what she now likens to a commercial cult. This woman was a new mother who was struggling with postpartum depression and looking for answers and found a coach. Now, she said it becomes like a bit of an obsession, almost like a goodness trap, she said. I was so stuck in this need to be good and trying to find almost the cure, I had this sense of being defective. In her search for good health, Sarah enrolled in a health coaching course and became a certified paleo health coach. She didn't know this at the time, but her coach was actually certified in neuro-linguistic training, which is a collection of psychological and communication strategies that can be applied to help someone reach a desired outcome. So it didn't just end at this paleo coaching. In late 2017, Sarah attended a workshop in Christchurch run by a former school teacher and self-styled life coach called Luke Hawkins. Luke runs what he claims is the #1 life coaching school in Australia. In this article, the woman explained how the first thing you go to is really cheap to get you in the door, but then after that, they're selling you an incredibly expensive package and they just push it on you, push. So you feel like even if you can't make it work, you will find a way to make it work financially. I got the impression that this is what I needed, or was told to the effect I needed this because of whatever limiting beliefs I had. I remember crying. I was having a full kind of meltdown. Just like all of this crap, Sarah started working her way up through the ranks of this community. And I'm not saying even the women who I talked about in today's videos do this, but I do think this is the dark side of this self-help guru culture. She describes that by the time she had a one-on-one business planning session with Luke himself, which this is a lot of thousands of dollars of working her way up the ranks, Luke told me I was going to be my own business coach. This wasn't her plan. Eventually, in 2022, she was able to walk away, but her main takeaway is that there are no safeguards for people out there being exposed to this stuff. I didn't want to be an advocate, but the only way I could deal with it or grapple with was I have to stand up. She said all of these groups are selling you the message that you are not good enough and you need to constantly be in search of self-improvement and fulfillment. But she would like to challenge that by saying that you are good enough. And I do think that's a good message to walk away with. You don't always need to be on a new diet, on a new plan, on a new manifestation journey. Sometimes you can just be, and that's fine. And I certainly do not think you should be shelling out thousands of dollars to have some yahoo sit down one-on-one with you and tell you that you need to be writing a gratitude journal. Because more often than not, these people are just as crisp as you and I are. Fresh out of the oven. That's not what I think it looks like or should. What can we do with this? Okay, so just dusted this with some powdered sugar. I guess I literally didn't dust it. I more like dumped it in clumps, but oh, whatever. Let's see how this is. Let's go. Uh-oh, it looks pretty promising, guys. I know you're not supposed to eat this warm. Let's get in on this. Wait, no way. I bodied this. No way that I killed this, because this was like more steps than usual. I had to hand zest a lemon. I grated a lemon and I killed it. No way. Everything you've ever said bad about me, go delete that comment, guys, because I killed it. I don't even like lemon bars. I just know that I did this incredibly well. Wow, people are gonna be shocked. This is gonna send a ripple through the kingdom. What are your thoughts on the self-help guru thing? If you have a personal story about this, definitely leave it in the comments, because I know there have to be a few of you that have some sort of crazy thing to tell me about. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and if you extra liked it, please give it a share. I really appreciate you guys and love seeing you on Instagram when you put it on your story and stuff. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!